Welcome to another edition of Millena the Talk Show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're going to be discussing the NFL and NFL players and their potential to get caught up. So my special guest is former NFL player Morlon Greenwood. We'll be right back.
You need to watch this woman's show.
Welcome to Millena the Talk Show, where we talk about things that everyone thinks about but rarely ever says.
And I want you to make sure you tune in with Millena. Yeah. She's a friend of mine. Real.
Welcome back. Today, my special guest is Morlon Greenwood. Come on out, Morlon. Yay!
Hey, Millena, how you
Hey,
doing?
good. Thanks so much for joining me on the show today.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
So, tell everyone your credentials. You are a former NFL player.
Yeah.
Dive right in.
Well, I'm originally from Jamaica.
Okay.
So if you guys hear the accents, that's where it's from. Played for the Miami Dolphins. Started 4 years for them, and 4 years for the Houston Texans. And now I'm the vice president of the NFL alumni chapter here in Las Vegas.
Nice. Okay. So, you were 4 years in Miami, 4 years in Texas.
Yes.
Okay. So, as we do here, we get comfy, we get real. We get real. So, I'm just going to say.
Oh, okay.
Now, they have all these shows, basketball wives, football, this, that, and the third. So, a lot of women, a lot of young girls, they grow up, I want to marry a football player. I want to marry. That was not me. I was always in love with New Edition. I'm just saying. That was all my boyfriend, especially Ronnie. I'm just saying. Shout out to Big Ron and Shamari. Love them to pieces.
Nice.
But there are some women who just decide that they're going to go after a football player or a basketball player. So did you get that constant attention? And what was it like to have all that constant attention all the time?
That happened when you first get drafted. When you first get drafted in the NFL, it's kind of like they kind of look out to see who's getting drafted, which round they're getting drafted, and then you start seeing the same person at every event that you go to.
Oh,
And
wow.
they just kind of like it's like their job. It's kind of like their job to go out there and seek you out. They know everything, but they know your stats, they know which round, they know what your signing bonuses, they know they know what you make. So it's kind of like they get the whole game plan together. And it's shocking because I know you're thinking like, well, why would someone go through so much?
Yeah, I mean,
so
it's
much?
calculated like that. I mean, I know they some of them target say, okay, I want to, but I didn't know that they actually plan it out like that
Yeah.
and follow it. Wow.
Yeah, the definite plan, and it's not just the ladies. It's people that are looking for business opportunities or looking for ways to kind of, get some resources out of your type of money and lead it down the wrong direction. So, one of the things when we're in the NFL that they talk about, they say that when you get drafted and when you become an NFL player, it's like you have a target. You have to look at yourself like you have a target on your chest or on your back or wherever, and anyone that comes towards you, you have to constantly think in your mind, what does this person want?
What's their motive?
It's
What
kind
do
of
they
it's
want
kind of
from me?
sad. It's kind of sad because of the situation, and if you're a nice person with a good heart, sometimes you get taken advantage of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine. It's heartbreaking that there are people like that. So, can you tell me what's the craziest, most outrageous thing that what lengths has someone gone to get your attention or to keep your attention?
Well, you have the obvious ones that
Yeah.
I cannot really list them, but people know the obvious one.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
come and they throw themselves at you.
Yeah.
But then you have the ones where
They
they
throw
it's-
their undergarments at you and all that. Or is that only rock
No.
stars?
Probably when I do with music, but that's another thing. I also do music as well. But I never had that happen to me.
Okay. Well, what's the craziest thing you ever had happen?
Well, someone they lied about what their nationality was. They said they were Jamaican, part Jamaican to kind of that's kind of like the real sneaky way of doing it, kind of pull you in, and it wasn't just for a short period of time, was for a long period of time until I found out about it. So that's the lens of how they would go to try and gain your trust or gain your favor.
Okay, so wait a minute. Mm-hmm. So they actually lied about their whole nationality?
The whole nationality. In the you know,
and said they were one because they thought you might like that one better as opposed
exactly.
to just being who they.
Man, exactly.
Wow.
Like,
how long did it go on?
Long time, years. Years upon top of years. I mean.
Years?
Yeah, years. Years. A few years, quite a few years. 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years.
And straight up, just and you never knew.
I never knew until the end. I found out about it from a really close source, and then I asked around, and then I found out more information about it. Then I had to ask everyone that knew me,
right?
And just to make sure that I'm not. I'm not coming up with things. You know? I'm not making up things in my mind. And they said the same thing, that's what they thought, and they were like. So those are the things that I'm talking about, and that's just one of them. You have a lot of other things that happen as well, but that's one of the things. How far people would go, they would try to become who they feel like you might be interested in. It's kind of like a game with them.
Changing nationalities is a whole lot. That's a whole lot.
There's a whole lot of other stories that comes along with that too, backing up the whole thing. So.
And unfortunately, he believed it.
Yeah.
They worked so hard at it that they believed that you believed it for 7 years. Wow.
Oh man, it's funny because there was like one time I was saying, say something in Jamaican and get to a point where I don't really thought that much because it was because I haven't spent a lot of time there and stuff like that.
You had a whole story.
Yeah.
Man.
But she understood me though.
Okay.
She understood me when I spoke Jamaican, so I thought, she probably knew. She probably just didn't know how to speak the language.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, when you sometimes one of the biggest reason why this happens is because we look at people the way we see ourselves.
Yeah.
And we think they're the same way like we are. Mm-hmm. But we have to understand that not everybody thinks the same way you do. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of these players kind of get caught up because they think a certain way. They always want to help. They want to help the family. They want to help people. They want to see the goodness in people. But the people don't have the right intentions when they approach them. Yeah. They have an ulterior motive. Wow.
Okay. And speaking of ulterior motives, I want to find out what are some of the red flags that you see and that you notice, and you can say right off the bat, okay, they have bad motives. But stay right here. You stay right here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Millena the Talk Show with former NFL player Morlon Greenwood. Welcome back. I'm here today with my special guest, former NFL player Morlon Greenwood, and we're talking about how NFL players can get caught up. So, what are some of the red flags?
Well, some of the red flags is you have some of the obvious ones. Okay. Like I mentioned before about the subliminal and the manipulation that take a long time. You have the ones that are just in your face. They want to find out what kind of car you drive, how much money you make. But they don't probably come out directly and say, some of them is that direct. That should be blatant in your face. Like, the first thing she's asking me is like, what kind of car you drive? You should, you should know that.
Now, do you tell them right off that it's a Lamborghini, or you kind of don't say that? Or you just move away when that happens?
I don't even answer those questions because I already see where they're coming at with it, and you start telling them those things. That's gonna you're attracting that person to you.
Right, that's true.
By saying that, and that's when I was playing, by the way. We're talking about when we were playing, and so when they come off asking those questions, I kind of shy away from it because, I was fortunate to have a good father. My father, I had 7 brothers and 4 sisters. I'm from a big family, so my father always told me about the things growing up. So for it to happen to me, it's kind of a situation where I didn't even think it was gonna happen. But it's because when I was in school, I was a high honor rollish marking period. I was a 5-time state champion wrestler.
Wow.
I was into sports. So as far as the girl thing, knowing how girls are full of drama and all the manipulation and stuff, that really wasn't me, And so it's kind of like a new thing I had to learn. But my father did do a good job of teaching me.
Okay.
But some of the red flags is, like I said, them trying to find out how much you're worth, trying to always into material things. They don't care about you as a person. And when it's a person that's just pops up on the scene that wasn't really in the process of helping you grow, didn't believe in you when you didn't have nothing, then you always have to think about, what this person want. And then some of them definitely have that, it comes straight out of their mouth.
Yeah.
They act it straight up. And some of the guys that fall for that, they should get caught up, because the guy that fall for it, that gets manipulated, it's a different story. That they pretend to be the person that they feel that you would want. Kind of like they're acting the entire time. They play that role. They jump in that role and they play that role from morning to night.
Wow.
7 days a week, every single day. And when you come home, it's like one of my brothers used to tell me. It's like she's acting. As soon as you come on, it's like she jumped into character.
Wow.
But it's something family's telling you, and you be like, nah, it's all right.
You don't want to believe it. You don't want to
believe it.
So when you found out about it, when you find out that their real intentions they're disingenuous, then how does that make you feel?
You feel like what's the term? Bamboozled.
yeah, hoodwink, bamboozled, all of that. Yeah.
But at the same time, it makes you wiser. You think about all the situations that you got caught up in, and be like, oh, that's what was happening there. That was happening. Anytime you felt like there was something not quite right, it wasn't quite right. And then once you figured it out, you just get a whole nother level of knowledge. Now I could spot them out like this. See them, be like, no, not. That one's got a little crazy in them. That one got, I'm not going over. And so it helps you, but it's kind of like going to school.
Yeah.
You pay for that. You pay for that education, and so it's kind of like another thing you have to pay for. But I wish I didn't have to go through it. But I'm glad I did, because it helped me in everything, not just personally, but in business wise as well.
Okay.
Because you don't want to go into business with anybody that's manipulating you or being shady or anything. So pick up on those things. So it's helped me all the way around. So I'm thankful. So everything in life is a lesson or a blessing. It is. It's definitely a lesson and blessing. But at the time when it happened, I was like, man, how could something like this happen to me? Why me? You look up to the sky, be like, why?
Yeah,
that movie where they walk down and they drop it in the needle and be like, why?
All right, School Days. That was that movie. I had something similar happen to me one time. It was when I was on The Young and the Restless, when I was doing some work there, and I had a friend. And he was a nice guy, and we hung out a little bit, and then one time he wanted me to come over and hang out, and I was like, I'm busy, I'm learning my lines, I got stuff to do. And then he sent me some text. I forget if it was a phone call or a text, but I'll never forget what he said. He said, why can't you hurry up and make me famous so we can have a happy life?
Wow.
Hurry up and make me famous.
You see?
He wanted me to make him famous so that we could have a happy life. I'm like, dude.
Exactly.
Really?
And that's a point what I'm talking about. Some people say it straight to your face, and when they say it straight to your face, you gotta be like,
Deuces. Right. That ended that completely
Yeah.
right there. And
Yeah.
I understand how you felt. You're like, wow, how can I be so...
Exactly.
But you know what? There were red flags. There were and now that you are talking about the red flags that I saw was, it was just real ironic that I happened to be at a film festival showing one of my films, and he was at 4 of the events in the same day.
Oh, wow.
And his manager person introduced me to him every time. I was like,
wow.
I just saw you.
Oh,
at this,
yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
So he
the
saw
same
me
thing.
out, and
You see,
I
yeah.
never even really
It's the same
thought
thing.
about it.
Like
until-
you see them popping up at the same places.
Exactly.
Over there.
That's a red
You know,
flag.
yeah, exactly. You keep bumping into them. It's not coincidence.
No.
They're planning. It's a strategy.
It hurts.
And it's be like, nah, no one does that because you don't do that.
Right.
But there are people
people
out
that
there
do.
that do it. So
Yeah.
make sure you be careful.
So in closing, because we're almost out of time, unfortunately, but what are some of the things that you would tell like rookies or just NFL players or actually any athlete, any professional athlete that's just up and coming in the industry, like what to look out for to protect themselves and like something that you wish people had told you?
Well, you know, the funny thing is people did tell me, like I tell my father, you know, definitely taught me. But one of the things I could tell them that you can never be too careful because I got the situation that happened to me. I would have never think that would have happened to me with all the teaching that I had. But it also made me a stronger person and a wiser person. But always stick with the people that have been around you from when you didn't have anything. The people that your family members, your close friends, and make sure that you take their advice on everything that they do. And not all the people that you grow up around, though. You still have some people that are not going to give you the right advice, but you need to select, you know, like your parents. You know, if you have good parents that lead in the right direction, your coaches, your teachers, you can pick out those ones that give you the right advice in time that you need, and you can always go back to those individuals to ask them to guide you. And along the way, just remember that when you get drafted and you have a whole bunch of money, and whether it's be football, whether it be acting, whether it be music or whatever it may be, just understand that people that come up to you, they're not coming up to you because they think you're a nice guy. You know, those nice guy days are over because now you have a big bank account and they're looking for ways to dip in that, whether it's women, whether it's people that are trying to, you know, businesses or whatever the case may be. So just be careful and just learn how to read people and learn how to know who is there for you and not for your money.
Wow, that's really good advice. That's really good advice. So I hope you guys are listening out there. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for getting comfy, getting real, and just, you know, just being honest about this kind of stuff. Cause
you know, there's a lot more stuff. You know, this show is only
it's only a few minutes. So
yeah.
we might have to have you back as a part 2.
Yeah,
we might have to have you back to tell more stories. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Millena the Talk Show, and we'll see you next time.
You need to watch this woman's show.
Welcome to Millena the Talk Show, where we talk about things that everyone thinks about but rarely ever says.
And I want you to make sure you tune in with Millena. She's a friend of mine. Keep it real.